I believe that a city's brand goes beyond geography, it goes beyond landmarks, and it's really the people that make up the city. In Detroit, in Midtown and downtown, there's vibrancy, there's excitement, there's development, there's growth, there's density, there's all kind of things that are happening and creating this new Detroit and this resurgence in the city. The problem with it is that I don't see enough opportunity for women. I don't see enough opportunity for people of color. I don't see enough opportunity for people who have disabilities. Somebody has to be at the table. Somebody has to be a voice that lives or is a part of these communities. Because if not, you're going to have natural blind spots. And so what I pitched to the Knight Foundation is, what if we could take some of this excitement and vibrancy and bring it into a neighborhood? And so our project really centers around three pillars. One is telling the stories of entrepreneurs who are underrepresented in terms of their stories being told. There is this whole sea of people that are doing great things that have amazing ideas that typically get overlooked. And so part of our work is, how do we help those stories rise to the top so we can now begin to look at those as an opportunity to be able to say, this is what the city's brand is.
Good. What I attach Detroit's brand to being is passion, hard work, hustle, and all of those things that are positive about a city.
If we look at Jason Hall, you look at a guy who had an idea, like anybody else has an idea, said, I just want to just ride a bike, right? And so that desire and passion to want to ride a bike turns into 5,000 people coming together every week in the city of Detroit. So how can we replicate that in other kids in other neighborhoods? And then the other part was wanting to be able to work on the brand identity of a business district inside of a neighborhood, so that when you drove into that community, you knew that you were there.
You know, I grew up on a block where I had 10 aunts and uncles, even though I didn't have 10 aunts and uncles, because they all looked out for me. Grandmont Rosedale really was my first real taste of real community.
But I truly believe that the economic development and the growth of the city of Detroit is really going to be connected to neighborhoods. So we began to do research, we began to meet with different leaders in those neighborhoods, and then we decided to go to Grandmont Rosedale.
Prestigious Detroit community with historic homes, tree-lined streets, and organized, caring neighbors, poised for business district growth along Grand River.
Grandmont Rosedale has always been one of the most stable communities in Detroit. Our mission has never changed. It was always to preserve and improve this neighborhood, but our strategies have to change sometimes. We've been able to refocus again on commercial development and really taking kind of a comprehensive approach to what are all the things that make a great neighborhood. It's not just houses.
The barbershop has always been a centerpiece, and as a quote-unquote black barbershop, we can service whoever comes through the door. If you show up and you present yourself to be an open and acceptable person, that they'll accept you and they'll actually support you.
My name is Amanda Brewington. That's my real name. The whole 31 years, it's been my real name. Coffee's like a cheap thing. You come in, a couple bucks coffee, a couple bucks for a lemonade. You can come in, don't have to spend a lot of money, you can use the Wi-Fi, you can sit here, you can meet people. You need that to just be like a fluid place. Not every neighborhood's had something like that, and every neighborhood does need that. You need that place where dialogues can happen. And the fact that Always Brewing got to be that for 3.5 years, man, we did some great conversations, we had some great talks.
You have someone like Amanda Brewington, her story shows challenges and things that every business owner has to deal with. And then we'll look at Paige's Bookshop, who is a destination business inside of Grandmont Rosedale.
Shopping local is a way for communities to shape their communities. If they don't shape it, if they don't support local, then someone else is going to come in and define that community for them. If I flipped over the back of the book, Pages, what I would like it to be is a fiction story that is based on characters within this community and people who shop in my store, and the changes in their lives, the changes in the bookstore to adjust to the community. I think it would be a supporting character.
So those pieces were really, really important to us. And then the other part is that we wanted to be able to work with businesses and to be able to help them to be able to understand branding and marketing at a higher level. So one of the things that came out of looking at this project is that we began to see that a lot of these small businesses have digital challenges. 53% of the businesses in the city of Detroit have no website. And so now we're starting this one piece called the 100 Project. And the 100 Project is, what would it take to get 100 businesses that are off the grid online? And how would that move the needle?
The reason why cities need to think inclusively, not just because it's the right thing to do, it's a smart thing to do. Creativity correlates to having all kinds of viewpoints. The 100 Websites program is something that, as I was driving with Haj, and he was describing it, I said, Haj, whoa, that's a big idea. And at that moment, I just wanted to be a part of it. I've been around websites since the 90s when websites were invented. And so I'm really used to it. I'm like, a website, you can just type some things and it's up. What I've learned from Haj is how a website becomes your storefront, your digital face of your building, essentially. And just by having it, people can know it's out there and you can tell a story about it and people will come towards your story.
So when people think about the city, people think about Detroit, it's a gritty town. It's a city where we put our hard hats on every single day and we go to work. The name Rebrand Detroit was really about changing the narrative. So we think about redesigning, recreating, refreshing, reimagining. We've always been a city of creativity. We've always been a city of first. We've always been a city of setting this new standard. And so that's really the ethos of this project. It's really about creating a place for all people that allows people to bring their passion and what they do and what they love to the table. I think that's the kind of city brand that attracts young talent, retains young talent, and moves the city forward in a way where we're different than Austin, Boston, and a lot of the other cities. Rebrand Detroit is about making Detroit a place for all people. We work with entrepreneurs and businesses inside neighborhoods, taking their ideas and their businesses to the next level.